All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court of the Rings on twitch.tv/LotraStream. I'm your community manager, Cordovan, and I'll be with you for the next hour. I've got some news. We did a whole bunch of stuff last week, and so we've been celebrating it and running it and playing it and doing it this week. Angmar and Mortar have launched. Update 41 is out the door. We have a patch set for next week. We have a preview set for next week for our free instance that'll be debuted later this month. And we also have the main bit I wanted to bring up for news is at 2 o'clock today, so an hour after the show gets done. We'll be over on the Deco du Milieu Discord, and we're going to be doing a housing Q&A. It'll be Scenario and Orion, who are going to be hanging out there for about an hour. So from about 2 to 3 o'clock, answering really any and all of your housing questions to the best of their ability. That is at 2 p.m. Eastern in the Deco du Milieu Discord. You can find out more information about that on DCODUMILIEU.com. Deco du Milieu.com. I'm going to post a link into Twitch chat here as well. Hello, everyone, also on YouTube, who might be watching this afterwards. I really appreciate you being here as well. But let's get... I'm also going to be on Angmar, as someone noticed. I've been leveling up a character on Angmar, currently level 27, and things have been going really well on Angmar. I'm playing a Redline Lore Master, just to sort of check it out, get used to playing a different kind of character. I've not played a Lore Master much, so it's been a lot of fun, and I've been pretty much... I'm like a bomber. Just, you, go away. You, go away. Oh, wait, a Wraith? Splat. That's been my journey so far on Angmar, although I've started turning the corner now that I'm in my 20s, and I'm finally able to take down these Wraiths, and that's been going real good, so. Alright, let's get to a little bit of news here before we get in game. Oops. So, to reiterate, 2 o'clock Eastern today, we're doing a Q&A over in the Deco du Milieu Discord. And you can find a link to it over on their website, along with our Twitter as well, which is twitter.com/Lotro. I did want a quick mention in terms of community events as well. We actually do have quite a few things happening here, not just this weekend, but in recent weeks. But unfortunately, I don't think... Oh. Well, that's not right. You're not undergoing maintenance. I know you're not, because I'm looking at you. There we go. That's what I intended to, actually. Stop it. As I say to my computer. See, eventually, the whole point of AI coming up is pretty soon we can actually yell at our computer because it's going to be sentient and doing its own thing. So all this time we've just been yelling at our computers for no reason, and eventually there'll be a reason any day now because of AI. Anyway, so this would be tonight, tonight, right? Today's the 9th and 10th, 8 p.m. server time in the BTC Theater. This is Green Day's American Idiot Brandywine Theater Company. So, that's happening tonight here as well. That's real cool. The other bits of community news I did want to mention here quick. I don't know if I can put this up. I can try to put this up and then mute it or something like that. There we go.
Florida.
Oops. There we go. Look at all these pop-ups. See, that's still here. I wanted to call out two video... Oops. Thank you, ads. Alright, well, this isn't going to work. Anyway, Marl MMO over on YouTube did a whole bunch of work recently to put together a video called Lotro in 2024 and why it's a special MMORPG. Both Marl MMO and Renfail this week on YouTube released videos that showcase the game in its current state, and unlike the Twitch streams, which you just saw, I'm really just flying from the seat of my pants. These are very much produced videos, and they put a lot of work into them, and they seem to be taken off really well. Marl MMO's video debuted 5 days ago and currently has almost 80,000 views. And Renfail also has one called Now is the Perfect Time to Play Lord of the Rings Online as a new player in 2024. And that one has 30,000 views and released 4 days ago. So both those video makers did stuff that took them a lot of work and they put a lot of work into. And I really wanted to call that out and make sure that you were aware of these videos. Maybe add them to your watch later list or something like that, and check them out when you get the chance. The first one is Renfail's, and this one I just put into chat here is also is Marl MMO's. So couldn't put them up on screen just due to some technical issues, but I really did want to call out that both those videos went live this week and went really well. For our part, we had our latest casual stroll through Mordor. That happened on Wednesday. You can find that on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings. And this time, Scenario traveled through Mordor, so that you can also find a link to it on the forums. But that's our monthly series with Scenario, and that happened this week as well. Quick note, we do have a patch set for next week. I don't have release notes for you yet. I'll be working on those this afternoon. But it's really just a follow-up patch to address a few issues with Update 41. Really the stuff you saw in the known issues list is going to be the target of next week's patch. And a few changes to the hardtack crafting event as well. I understand the timer is not fully functioning as it should, and it's going to be changed to just start at the top of the hour while it's active. Remember, it's on for 10 days and off for 14. So it'll be changed to just start at the top of the hour, and we're also working on a world broadcast issue that went live with Update 41 for the hardtack crafting event. So long and short of it, you should have a much easier time knowing when the event's going to start. You'll get the proper notices, and it'll start at a consistent time when it's here. So that's what's up. I think there will probably be a few other things and the release notes for next week's patch, but I just haven't seen the full list yet. I haven't done the work to put the notes together, but that'll be done here real soon. I did want to call out, this is the final week of the, let's see, yeah. Let me put this one up on screen. So this is the final weekend of the Mirkwood Patrons Coffer. So if you want the Mirkwood Patrons Coffer, you should pick it up this weekend. It's in the Lotro store. It's available through Sunday. And it's 3 bundles, you know, Tier 1, 2, 3 of the coffer. You can find out the full list of what's in it over on Lotro.com, but the Luxuriant coffer gets you like Mithril, a whole bunch of Virtue, and some titles, and a whole bunch of cosmetics and things like that. You could, like I said, you can find out more about this on Lotro.com. It could come back in the future. These are not meant to be exclusive windows, but they are limited time windows, and experience has shown us that we don't bring them back often. So if you do want the Mirkwood Patrons Coffer, I think it's particularly good. I've been digging it a lot. And yeah, so you have through Sunday to get that. So please do if you want to. I do want to call out that you have a few more weeks on this one, but this is the Middle-earth Venturing Pack, available through August 25th, and it too is a bundle of stuff really geared toward people who might be starting out on Angmar and Mordor, although it's available really for anyone who's interested in it. And this is a once per account offer, and it's available through August 25th. That gets you the riding skill, a choice of one from a bunch of steeds, a cosmetic outfit, a weapon aura, 21,000 Virtue XP, kind of a bump to get you started on Virtue XP, an extra milestone skill, 500 silver, granted not a ton, but as people just saw this past week starting up on Mordor and Angmar, you actually do start the game without much coin. And although it hasn't really been a big problem for me, there have been a couple points it's like, oh wait, I don't actually have the money to repair all my stuff. I guess I should sell some things. Anyway, this is really just kind of meant to be a one-time way to get you started. This is available through August 25th. Of particular note to Angmarians and Mordorians, but anyone who is interested who has not purchased it to this point. You also do get a universal toolkit, so there you go. For sales, otherwise, we do have XP boosts, enhanced XP supply, mark acquisition boosts available at 20% off, and a free 20% mount speed is our weekly coupon. Top geared is the coupon code. Why not have your mount be faster for 6 hours for free? Finally, our bonus days is a 10% loot box, Embers and Moats boost through August 11th, and just to put it up here one last time, we did launch Angmar and Mordor. You can find out a bunch of information about these worlds on Lotro.com. Explains a little bit about what they are, kind of what sets them apart, a little bit about how the Wraith mechanic and Ring mechanic works, and things like that. So if you're interested, go ahead and check that out on Lotro.com. I've already seen a lot of you there. Both worlds are doing quite well, as I think people are well aware. And it's been fun. It's been really fun. So I hope you're enjoying it as much as I have been. I think that pretty much takes care of the news here. Let me just do one quick scan through our calendar and such. Hardtack crafting does go through... no, I guess this is the final weekend for that as well. So it'll be coming back then probably, well, soon. I'll have to look at the schedule to see when it's coming back. So the changes I mentioned about hardtack is going to be for when it next comes back, but it'll be in next week's patch. We do have the Farmers Fair coming up. That's something I should mention as well. That starts next Thursday. It's got new rewards. I'll have more information about those rewards, including some screenshots, over in the Farmers Fair guide on Lotro.com. It'll also be plastered across our social media. I mentioned this at the start of the show, but next week we are working toward a bull roarer for a new upcoming instance that's going to be released later in August. So if you're interested in checking that out, that'll be happening next week, potentially something like Wednesday. Stay tuned, though, for an exact start time on the beta for the upcoming instance. One more here. The Legendary Item Reward Track Season 10 is wrapping up. Season 11 starts on Wednesday with the game update. So, claim your stuff. Claim your stuff for the Legendary Item Reward Track. Make sure you do claim it for all your characters, all your stuff. Get it all done before Wednesday, because you will lose out on it if you don't. So, that's what's up. And then we do have a new reward track coming up here as well. So that starts on Wednesday. I think that's pretty much it. I've got Filbert Fig coming in on August 21st. I see that in the calendar now. So that is what we have going on in terms of cosmetic rotation in the near future. And yeah, it's busy time, is it not? I don't know if Filbert Fig has anything new this time or not. I just haven't had... Honestly, I haven't even had time to look. I haven't heard anything, but that doesn't necessarily mean there aren't things in there. There is. There's a lot going on. All right. Does the milestone skill auto-consume? I believe... I don't know. I think so. I think so. I think when I checked it out to see if it was working, I didn't have to consume anything, so I think it auto-consumes. Will there be more Cloak and Quiver combos in the future, like in the Mirkwood pack? I would imagine so. I would imagine so. I don't know when, I don't know in what form or where it'll come out, but we typically, if we're going to go the route of making it possible, we'll probably want to make sure we give you a variety of things to pick from. I, too, have been really liking Angmar. Those 64-bit worlds are looking real nice. We do have, however, at this exact day, I could mention that real quick. Let me just go back to my main cam. We do, as of this exact moment, have a technical issue that seems to be particularly impacting Mordor that we're working through, and that is it's manifesting as some rubber banding, a little bit of almost like a rollback style, mini rollback lag. And in a couple of cases, we've seen a bunch of instance crashes. That was why we ended up having to take Mordor down briefly yesterday to try to fix what was essentially a crashing issue. The whole game world didn't crash in that people who were on and didn't dump out were able to keep playing. So, like, it's not like the whole world technically stopped. But for a lot of people, you got booted from the game yesterday due to this issue that we're still investigating. We put in what we thought was going to be a fix yesterday. We were hoping it would work. But unfortunately, it hasn't solved the issue. So at this hour, frankly, we've got our engineers and some others working on deploying a fix, getting it checked out, making sure it's actually going to do what we want it to do, and talk about when we want to get this out. But I don't know when that's going to be right now. If we end up having a lot of crashing issues, say over the weekend on Mordor, it's possible that we may just take the extra hour and a half, or whatever it's going to end up being, and deploy this fix just to solve this issue. But if we don't see a lot of crashing, then it'll be scheduled really for whenever the next available opportunity is, whether we do a singular brief, like hour-long downtime, say Monday, Tuesday, or whether we feel we can hold off until Wednesday. We've done some work in terms of like commands you can run on the game world and that should in some ways minimize the crashing. That's why we have the Flame of Angkolamir currently unavailable on Angmar and Mordor, because the disenchanting that was taking place to turn it into embers or motes rather, whichever one it is, was causing a specific technical issue. So that's why that's off. But that's the current state. Angmar and Mordor seems to be running great, except for those few times where it's not. And we have seen it much more on Mordor than on Angmar. I don't really have an answer as to why that is yet. But it is nonetheless something that we're going through. Otherwise, I think, like you've seen, and what you'll hopefully see here in the near future, the gameplay on Angmar and Mordor has been real hot, real good, real good. At least in my experience. I hope that you agree. Let's check it out. All right. You've used an ad blocker on YouTube for years and years. Well, I don't use an ad blocker. I actually pay for YouTube Premium. But when I'm logged into the work accounts don't have YouTube Premium. Or if it's not logged in, like when I try to bring it into XSplit here, it's not logged in, and so it plays all those ads. It makes me appreciate why I in fact pay for my YouTube. Alright, so what are we doing? I am level 27. I am on a red line lore master. I've been kind of nuking things, but I found myself in a position, because I've been focusing on the Before the Shadow storyline here in particular, and I have found myself in a position where I need to get some XP before I can continue with the final chapters of the Before the Shadow story. I got through, let me show completed here quick. Yeah, I got through all the way to 10, and then I ran the instance, the Spectre of the Grey Fear, but I need to be level 32 before I can do 11. And I haven't been doing a lot of just general questing on Angmar. I've been really focusing just like on a radar of the introduction, the prologue, and the Before the Shadow story instances. I'm just jetting through it to see where I end up on in terms of levels and difficulty, and just I want to get through that stuff. That's my main goal while I'm leveling up. There are really 2 points where you get stuck, as it were, in that you can't progress the story unless you've picked up more XP. And one of those is, if I recall, around level 15-ish, and the second one is right where I am right now. At around, for me, I'm at level 27, and I need to be 32, and I could run some story, like kind of side quests and things like that, and I'll do a little bit of that as well. But what I've mostly been doing in recent days is working on my tasks, because tasks give you some nice easy XP. I would definitely recommend you've probably got it if you've been doing the epic books just like I have, not the epic but for the shadow book. You've got this stuff unless you sold it, and you could use this to help with your gaps a little bit. And then also running missions. Just starting yesterday, I ran through a cycle of missions here to get myself from, I guess I was not quite 26 to 27 here. And so that's really what I'm going to be doing on stream today at this point, is I think just getting some level up XP and tearing through some things as best as I can, and see what I can do in terms of...
Will you lend me your ear?
In terms of getting some XP, so I can get 32, so I can finish up the story, and then keep going. Alright. When can we expect information on the next that will get a rework? I assume you mean the next class that will get a rework. I don't know what the systems team plan is at that point. I would expect that Orion or perhaps On Mac Mahal may have some more information that they would be able to provide whenever they next get around. I can't do delvings because I'm not level capped. Which also means that these missions are pretty easy, and I've just been kind of nuking my way through the missions here, getting some nice easy XP in that. It's been just fine. I think you're going to see what I can do here, hopefully, in these missions. It's even easier than the landscape in some ways. So where are we? Here we go. So, for example, I really like this lightning storm because it just does an area of effect, and it just basically... Alright, here's the location. Let's call in the drone. Boom! So that worked. And yes, it doesn't one-shot everything when you're not in kind of wimpy little missions or what have you. But I will say it's definitely been effective regardless. And it is I think for me... Well, I guess let's find out. Oh, it's on cooldown, so I can't. So on the last stream a week ago, I was really struggling with the race, and we'll see how I do here today. But I'm expecting... Yeah, see, I've turned the corner. Now, it was about level, for me at least, on this Lore Master, it was about level 20. And as soon as I sort of picked up enough power to be able to sort of stay alive and get it done. What? Okay. All of a sudden the race have been kind of a non-issue. We did decrease the spawn rate of race this week as well, and that was really just for practicality reasons. Basically, the community had suggested we do it, and so there we are. It made sense to do. So the issue isn't so much on the YouTube ads, it's that I'm importing it into XSplit, and it doesn't, for security reasons, it doesn't persist your account that might be stored in your computer. So you end up with a URL that's clean, as it were, in terms of login. And so you end up getting whatever the default login experience is for that. Alright. Let me, there's some other things I think I see in chat here. No, Raz Nagar. We actually had a conversation about that, and we will not be starting the LI rewards track before the LIs are available on Angmar and Mordor. Those will come with the release of the legendary items. That's as intended, and that's what we'll be doing here for this. I know some people would like us to do it so they can earn their stuff even before they get the item that it's associated with, but we're not doing that. Sorry. Fevera says tonight on Landreval, 9 p.m. Eastern, the Warders are performing in Hobbiton. Join us for a dance or a sing-along if you know the words. Thank you so much, Fevera. So one of the things that I've been working on this week is for the other game, and it's to get their Discord up and running. And then once I get their Discord up and running, I'm going to be turning my attention to the... Oh gosh, where's the scout? I've had this issue with just a few of these quests where I'm like, I don't know what I did with the scout. Where did I start by the point that I ended up? I don't know. Guessing not this way though. Oh, that looks kind of familiar. Should I come in this way? No, definitely not. We will eventually have 64-bit game worlds outside of Angmar and Mordor. As we've been saying during the creation of these worlds, these are the first two to get it, but we will be making 64-bit server technology available more widely at some point here in the future. No timing or ETA to announce, however. How many times did I get killed by a Wraith already? So I made it to level 10, and so I got the first tier of the Undying title, but I didn't make it to 20. So I think it was pretty much as soon as they spawned, they started taking me out. And all through my teens, I really actually struggled with the lesser race that were spawning. You saw that on stream last Friday, where I was like, well, gosh, now what do I do? And so I ended up doing something else, because I just didn't want to keep getting splatted by race on stream. But I kept, I've been just playing an hour, maybe a couple hours a night here all week, and around the time I tipped into level 20, my lore master at least has pretty much just been able to nuke the any race that show up. But for those teams, those first 10 levels in particular, it was very difficult. And I imagine there could well be more. Oop, oop. It sounds like a wraith. Oh. Nope. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing more participation and playing of the Tack crafting event as well. I think, we recognize that, with all the stuff that was coming out with Update 41, it might take people a little bit to turn their attention to the Tack crafting event. But we have seen people enjoy it and starting to work together and get it figured out. Also, there was a post this week that Orion made about some upcoming changes to hardtack. That's where the change to it being the top of the hour and that goes. There's also some changes happening with the cook in particular. The cook is going to have a much shorter induction time on the crafting part of the recipes in the hardtack crafting event, but a longer induction time on the oven cooking of the event. And that's really a stylistic choice as much as anything. But
how can I be of service?
Having tried to do the cook myself several times now
moment.
on the live game worlds, it makes sense because you sit there crafting a long time on those recipes, and instead have a very short time actually cooking it in the oven. It's like that is one hot oven, and I think something just happened to my game client. Well, that sucks. All right, let me swap back. Oh, there we are. We're back. Okay. Not quite sure what happened there. The client locked up briefly. Okay. Is that the Mirkwood weapon aura on the staff? Yes, I believe so. Yes. And the outfit is the Mirkwood outfit as well, including the hood. I pretty much went all Mirkwood for the stream character just because it seemed to make sense. I am not the greatest at explaining this one, Doomy. What is your question is, what is the difference between a 64-bit client and a 64-bit server? Well, the client is going to be the game client, right? So the thing that you actually install on your computer, that you're logging into, the icon you're clicking on your desktop, that's the game client. And the server is actually the servers that are housed in the data center, both virtual and physical, that keep the game itself sort of populated, that load the various instances of the game world, and just really take care of all the things there. And so the game client has been 64-bit for a while now, but the game server itself is not always been. It's been in parts, but now it's fully 64-bit for these two game worlds. And that's really what the difference is. So on the one hand, it's your game client. On the other, it's everything else. Not really everything, but a lot else that kind of runs the infrastructure of the game. And I think that you know, other than some of the things I just described that we're working on, I think we've had a very successful 64-bit client launch for Angmar and Mordor here. In some ways, it also has helped reiterate why it was probably a good idea we did, in fact, pick a few to start with, because we have had adjustments that have had to be made, and we knew we would, and we did, and so we're working through that process now. But overall, it's been quite good. The game experience, and I think most players have given us very positive feedback on the general function of the game, minus maybe some rubber banding in that we just saw recently. But that is a known cause. That's something we can fix. And when that's solved, the rest of the game seems to be loading and performing quite well so far. Now, it's not just, though, remember, this isn't just the 64-bit server that is to get all the kudos here. There's really two pieces that Severlin talked about when we were getting ready to launch these game worlds. And the other big piece is sort of your character footprint, the character data itself, and how weighty that is. You know, there was a forum thread not that long ago where someone talked about crossing off their 11th or 11,000th quest, And when all of that information gets stored, does a quest take up too much space? No. Does it make your character footprint, data footprint too big? No. Unless you're doing it 11,000 times. And so over time, the more you do, the longer you've been around, the more you accomplish in the game, the more we add to the game. All of that ends up having a sort of footprint effect called, I hear the tech folks call it serialization. And serialization is really our next big pillar that we're going to be taking a look at. Now that we've, I believe, pretty much validated that 64-bit servers are going to be very good for us. The other piece is going to really be tackling the data footprint, optimizing the way the game communicates with itself, and really focusing on, are there things that we can detach or load on demand or communicate in a different way that will reduce that serialization footprint? And that's really the next big focus of our efforts after we get, well, not after, in conjunction with working on deploying 64-bit servers outside of Angbar and Mordor. So. Another good strategy is to take a side trip to Yondershire, as that is 22 to 27 more or less, so it has lots of quests for XP. That is a really good idea. Maybe I should be doing that instead, honestly. But I'm not ready to pivot right today, because I already planned for all my missions. But you're right, I should have gone to Yondershire. I forgot about that. You've been doing bingo till he outlevels me. Then do the quest in that area till you can... Yeah, you know, I have not... That's actually a deficiency on my part in terms of game knowledge.
What can I do for you?
I certainly know about the bingo boffin quests, but I can't say that I have necessarily... Well... Do I want character boosts, or do I want to get ahead? I'm going to get some ally boosts here for whenever I do get my allies.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
I have not done the bingo boffin stuff all the way through. I did actually consider that. I was like, oh yeah, maybe we should start off with bingo boffin, but honestly the missions are very efficient. It's a very good way to get some XP if you want to. Especially if you're on a lore master that can just be pretty much, you go away. Now you go away. Alright, now it's your turn. You go away. With everything you see here, it's a lot. This lightning storm is my new favorite thing. Slug is my target. Oh, now I got a wraith. This is bad. Oh, you got defeated by a wraith. Well, there you go. It can happen to you. That's fine. Now that I got my health, wait for my lightning strike to go on cooldown. I will take care of this wraith. When a wraith appears in some missions, it is impossible to finish the mission. That could be true. You know, like I say, I don't want to be too, I don't want to be like, no, you're wrong, because it could be your class. There's a whole bunch of factors involved. I found that with this lore master here, I'll look at that. I just died. That was the same wraith. Boom, boom, and it's done. As soon as I'm not being attacked by other things, and don't have important bits off cooldown. I have not found the wraiths to be difficult for myself after level 20. They were a real big issue for me until level 20. But now that I've sort of hit that mark, things are going pretty good for the old Cordo. redo this. Raids become easy once you have removed corruption. That's what I keep reading. I do have the one thing here. Actually, it's the interrupt inductions. Where's my... Here we go. The dispel corruption. I do have dispel corruption, and that has been useful, in fact. We've all struggled in our teens. It's true. Those awkward teen level years. Yeah, so, I mean, Lore Master Redline, for all the controversy on the forums and that, right now, I don't think people are going to disagree that the DPS side of the Lore Master is doing just fine. I think the biggest discussion that we're seeing really is about persistence of pets and perhaps some changes to remove self-healing. As much easy access to a self-heal in Redline as anything. There was a question that got asked of me on the forums, you know, what is the team going to do about Lore Master? And at this point, we're really giving people an opportunity to play it. We're playing it ourselves, and we're considering the feedback. But we don't want to do, like I say, a knee-jerk reaction. Oh no, we need to just change it back. Because it's pretty common whenever you do class work, no matter how successful you are with it, you're going to see those calls. I liked it better before, make sure it goes back. I'm never going to play my Lore Master again. You've ruined it. Thanks for nothing. Jerkwads. You know, that kind of thing. And so you don't want to react too quickly and be like, oh my god, everyone hates it. But there is discussion amongst the team as well of like I kind of want my pets back, you know, that kind of thing. So we'll see what we end up doing. There's certainly been a lot of feedback related to Lore Master on the forums and elsewhere, and it's been a really good conversation overall, and a lot to think about. So we'll see. But I myself have been digging my Lore Master, and the DPS, I think everyone can agree, is probably not the issue.
What do you need?
Because we've got
Stay a moment.
Lots of deeps. All the deeps. I have seen the report that there seems to be a claim on the chat profanity filter and game stuttering lag. I don't know that that's true. Ultimately, I would need to rely on our engineering team to look at the system itself to provide a more whatever they think. Right? I don't know how much is the causing and how much is it just sort of what the visual response is to something happening. And I don't think I personally know the answer to that yet. So it's interesting. Here's the positive thing though, is if the chat profanity filter was in fact causing stutter step lag for you, well, there's an easy solution. That means you can just turn off your chat profanity filter. You don't actually need to have that on. So that's a personal choice. That's cool. We have got an avatar update coming next in terms of a question about a graphics update. We have got the humans, or elves rather, coming up here in the future. So, elves. Gosh, where's my brain today? I'm sorry. I'm really looking at combat. We We have our Avatar update coming up for the next one. What we said we were going to do. I can't remember where we are. Elves, right? The game sounds are too loud. Okay, sorry about that. Let me turn that down a smidge. Hello, Marl. Nice to see you here. I gave you a shout out at the start of the show. Things are smooth until one of the 9 appears, then things turn into a slideshow. Has there been any chat on maybe if that can be improved? So there is the reality that if, in the same way that you see it during my visits to the servers on anniversaries, when you have, say, a Ringwraith appear, and then everyone starts dumping into that space to try to fight it, you are going to see a little bit of impact with all those effects and that flinging around. And that's part of why there's that teleportation mechanic there. But we do have some specific technical things that will be being adjusted related to the Ringwraith spawns in the near future. I don't know if that's going to be part of the engineering work that I referenced at the top of the show, or if it'll be in update 41.1 on Wednesday or what. But there are some things that'll be worked on in terms of the Ringwraith spawns themselves. I don't think you'll see a dramatic difference, but it'll be aimed at solving some of those specific game performance things that you're talking about there. So, all right. Well, I have got those missions done. So the next set I'm in here, huh? Is it Andrath? I can't remember where the other missions are. Tharbad? Well, let's just sort of travel around until I find a mission giver. Will we get a new soundtrack album with the expansion this year? Who will be the music composer? It'll be Bill Champagne that'll be doing the soundtrack for our Legacy of Morgoth expansion. And I would imagine that, similar to what we've seen in the past, it'll end up as a series of YouTube videos, at the very least. Alright. Yay. I picked correctly.
Would you do something for me?
Why, yes, I will. Will we ever transition back from remote to an office setting? Hard to say. I don't see any reason at the moment why that would happen. I really don't see that happening at this stage of 2024. Hard to know, you don't want to predict the future too much, in the same way that if you had asked me in 2018 if we'd all just be working from home, I'd be like, what? No. We love our 2-hour commutes, don't we? Right? Sitting in traffic. Barking. It's so efficient. But, I don't think we will. I would say odds are slim. But I suppose if there was a reason to, or if corporate America decided to be like, no, for realsies, y'all gotta sit in an office again, I suppose we would. Am I a game dev, or am I just letting you know? I am not a game dev, but I do work for Standing Stone Games. My name is Jerry Snook. Forum name is Cordovan, and I'm the community manager for the Lord of the Rings Online. So I work for Standing Stone Games, the developer of the game, to handle Twitter, Twitch, social media, YouTube, Facebook, the website, the forums, release notes, all sorts of things. I wear many hats, and I've been with the company since 2010, so I've been here for a while now. I'm a grizzled veteran of the forum wars, and but I would not call myself a developer in that I'm not actually doing any coding or anything like that. Alright, we're up and down here. How do you do allegiance quests in Umbar? I don't remember off the top of my head. I can tell you that I've been getting lots of allegiance rewards. I've been claiming allegiance rewards, so somehow I figured it out. I don't remember what you had to do. Maybe check the wiki on that. See if the wiki's got an answer for you. That was a little tricky. That worked okay. Will we ever see the return of the Mordor Ultimate Fan Bundle? I don't know. I think there's been an interest occasionally in the community to do it, and there's been occasionally some discussion on our part to consider it, but I don't know that we've actually gotten to the point that I feel confident that it's gonna like happen anytime soon. But it could. It could. I am amused by this whole Dave Grohl thing. 20-year-old 1990s me would have been very amused that people confuse me with Dave Grohl. If I ever cut my hair, man, everyone's gonna just be like, what? There's all sorts of old video of me with short hair. I look terrible. It was awesome.
Stay a moment.
I myself love working from home. I think it's been the best thing. I've been really enjoying this Lore Master too. I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to figure out Lore Master very well, and I suppose there are people who are watching chat who are like, yeah, you still don't know what you're doing. I am only level 26, I can tell you that. But, about the only thing I would like to see more of myself is an option to self-heal for myself. Now, like, I get that that's sort of the point of going full red, is you're trading that survivability for DPS, just for raw output of damage. But, there have been times where I've had those garbage moments. I really wish I had a way, like on my champion and such, to get myself some morale back. So that's about the only thing I've been missing. But again, I'm only level 29 here at this point, but... But I like being able to, unlike my champion, where I've been playing, you know, for quite a while now, and I'm just sort of running right up and smashing them down with my dual wielding. Being able to kind of just drop bombs from a distance like this, I am liking it. I like it a lot. I am not in a good position to talk about what'll be in the next expansion. It's a little early for that yet, but we do have planning underway as to what we're going to do. I think what we'll see is a series of casual stroll-like streams where we can have Orion and others sort of go through the wilderness area and really showcase some of the cool landscapes and things that we're doing here for the Legacy of Morgoth expansion. But anything I do at this point would be a little too spoilery. I can't drop the news bombs on that yet. There will be elves. You have no idea. Well, maybe you have some idea, but maybe not. Okay, where is this leader, dude? Where are you? There we go. Yeah, so we have got, you're right, we're just about done with this stream here. I think this will be the last mission that I run. We have got the Tolkien Professor up next, Druid's Fire on after that. Big weekend in Lotra, so I hope you get the opportunity to enjoy it. If you're over on Angmar and Mordor, thank you for being a part of its success so far, and it sounds like everyone's having a real good time there, so hope that is you. And if you're not on Angmar or Mordor, but the regular worlds as well, we really appreciate you being here as well. We've got a lot happening with Update 41, the Hardtack crafting event, the Lore Master changes, birding. Yeah, let me wrap the stream up. This will probably be a constant here. I'll wrap the stream up here a bit with just doing a little bit of bird watching. I've learned the hard way that you got to be careful to swap back into your main item rather than carry your birding kit into battle, because you can't swap weapons mid-battle. I have started missions with my birding kit equipped and been like, oh, right. Probably shouldn't do that. So don't do that. I don't know how you would actually fight anyone with a birding kit anyway, but it's a problem. So, hey, I just found the Grey Flood Tern. So, I have only got, on birds so far, I've only got 15 of 214 collected. But you can see I've been doing some work really in Swanfleet and Cardillon here. Finding some of the birdies. And that's been really cool. Would we be willing to go back to mounted combat for a Mumak mount? The idea of that sounds really cool. I think that it is unlikely we would do the kind of extensive work to bring a Mumak to mounted combat. I think there's been, for a while now, interest on our part of taking a very holistic look at mounted combat to perhaps just improve the overall experience of it. And hard to say when or if that work will ever happen. But I think that were we to do that, that would be probably the focus rather than, say, adding Mumak mounts to the existing mounted combat system. If you forgot to turn off automatic renew and got charged, you canceled your subscription and sent in a ticket, will you get a refund? That's really up to customer support, and I think it'll be a number of factors of how often have you accidentally done this, if at all, how much time has gone by and what have you. But file that ticket right away. Just see what CS will do for you. A pretty good chance that they'll help you out. So. We haven't forgotten about the kinship update as well that we've talked about in the producer's letter and beyond. I don't have an exact time frame for that, but our attention has started to turn toward that for the future planning as well, so we'll see. All right. That's going to do it with Court of the Rings for this week. Thanks so much for being here, everyone, and I'll talk to you next week. I'll also maybe see you at 2 o'clock Eastern in the Deco du Milieu Discord for our housing chat with Scenario and Orion, if you're there. And if not, well, enjoy your whatever it is you got going on, and I'll talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.